The Witness is a good game, but it also pisses me off to the point where I never want to do another puzzle in my entire life. It's fun, but boring, and it's easy, but at times I'm pretty sure it's impossible, and the developers are sitting in their nice warm beds laughing their asses off because they know it's not possible, yet here we are still trying to find a solution after an hour and a half at the same puzzle. This game has me going in circles with emotions. We start off in a tunnel, and for the only time in the game, we do what they call a tutorial. Except it's not really a tutorial, it's just kind of telling us we can press A and make a line to go from one end to the other. And this is simply the core mechanic of the game. It's a puzzle game where you need to complete little individual maze puzzles in order to see the grand scope of things. You open up new areas and places to explore by completing these little puzzles. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, SnixReview, you must be straight fucking stupid. Who can't connect a line from start to finish? My children do these maze puzzles for fun on their menus at the restaurants. Even a pet frog with one leg, no eyes, and a drug addiction could solve these puzzles. Well, don't worry, because these puzzles get so ridiculous in scale, I started to think this game was meant to be from one friend to another as a joke to see how fast he can lose his sanity. Even the starting area, I spent 25 minutes trying to figure out how to get up to the last puzzle to open the door, only to realize that the puzzle has two different outcomes. After about 30 minutes trying to figure out how to get out of this starting area running around in circles like a chicken with his head cut off, I finally figured it out. I walk up the path a little bit of ways and come across this door, and it's a new type of maze puzzle. Now it's got black and white squares, so I'm thinking, cool, I'm gonna get a tutorial for this new type of puzzle game, but nope, I don't think so. And from this point on, there are no more hints, clues, or tutorials on how to solve new types of puzzles. So this new puzzle they introduce, I'm trying everything my brain can think of. I'm trying to separate the black and the whites like some sort of racist piece of shit, but you can't do that because the start of the puzzle, you have to go over one of the black squares. And then I think maybe you gotta run over all the black squares and then go to the exit, but that also doesn't work. And there's also 3 exits, so maybe you have to avoid all the squares, but that's not it either. I just give up for now. Moving on to a new set of puzzles, I start off with one line going right through, and it looks like you separate the white from the black like I thought from the last puzzle. And it turns out that's exactly how it's done. The puzzles in the same section get harder and harder, and the last one is pretty annoying, but I end up finishing them all at some point. And are you guys ready for the reward I get for doing all these puzzles that took me 15 minutes? That's right, baby. Not a fucking thing. Not even a sound telling me I've unlocked something elsewhere. No wires, no visual cues, no nothing. But I find a house beside those puzzles and there is hope. Maybe this is the next part I need to complete to unlock something epic. But these set of puzzles are different now too. I need to run over all these little black spots. And this actually gave me an idea. The last set of puzzles you need to separate the black and the whites, and this one you need to run over the little black spots. If you put both of those together, the door puzzle I couldn't figure out earlier actually has both of these kind of puzzles combined in each of them. Unfortunately, after spending another 10 minutes at the door, I still couldn't figure it out, so I just left again. I finished the puzzles at the houses, and I still got nothing. Not a thing happened. At this point, I took a break from the game because I literally got a headache, and now I'm annoyed because nothing is happening. I start walking up a hill towards some pink trees because I see another set of puzzles, so I figured I would try them instead. Now, I googled how many puzzles there were in the game, and there are a lot, so I'm not going to explain all of them one by one to you, but this one is actually super neat and unique. The puzzles look like the trees surrounding them, and the apples on the trees signify where the ending should be. This is some clever shit. Building the puzzle based on real-world objects, that shit's phenomenal. At this point, I've done a couple of the tree puzzles, and I'm starting to think I'm smarter than the game. If there's only one exit, then I can just try them all till I get it right. And I do that, and the game's like, yo, fuck you, you lazy prick, figure out these puzzles. And it sends you back to the puzzle you've done before that. One of these tree puzzles are throwing a curveball at me now, and there's no apple in the tree. I can't tell how many times I was like, fucking what? The answer, however, is counting them one by one and seeing if the broken branches match up, which they don't, so the apple just fell with one of the broken branches. I finish all those puzzles and get to the top, and there's absolutely nothing up there. I'm starting to get really frustrated at this point, and I don't really understand the point of this game. Everywhere I look, there are new areas with new puzzles packed with shit to do, and I don't really know where to start because every one I've done so far hasn't done anything for me and I haven't gotten anywhere. So I run down to this little boathouse and I figure we'll just do these instead. I'm determined at this point to finish every puzzle here and I'm not leaving this area until something happens. That's my hope anyway. Now check out these puzzles, how ridiculous they're getting. And I'm only at the start of the game. I can't even imagine what they're going to look like going further into the game. After finishing these sets of puzzles, I feel like I got a 200 IQ. I feel like I'm the smartest man alive. Every time you complete a puzzle without looking for the answer online, it's a very satisfying feeling. You feel like really good about yourself, like you're actually smart. This game is fucking wild, and now puzzles are leading me to other areas with other puzzles to complete. Like they're all adding up for a bigger picture or something, I hope. Now we got another puzzle, and I'm thinking I gotta collect all the pieces, but that doesn't work. I also try not to collect any of the pieces, but then it doesn't work. Maybe try collecting one. Nope. Maybe just two. Nope. Nothing works for me. I don't know what's happening in this game anymore. And I think that's the most frustrating part of the game. There are no clues, hints, or tutorials on anything about how to do any of these new puzzles. You're just meant to figure them out on your own. Maybe I'm just not smart enough. I don't know. Turns out about 20 minutes after messing around with this puzzle, that was the solution, is to collect them all. I thought I did that, but I guess I was just doing it wrong. This game is insanely difficult, and I chose to do this review without using the internet to cheat because I wanted to see how far I could get after somebody told me it was the hardest game to complete, and I just laughed at them. Now I'm feeling kind of stupid. Now, difficulty comes in many forms in video games, and some are harder than others. But in my opinion, the difficulty in this game stems from no explanations or even small hints. I don't find that difficult, I just find it annoying and frustrating. Like I said before, it is very satisfying to complete a puzzle, but it's also very frustrating. Maybe that's what the developers were going for. The puzzles are extremely difficult, but I feel like they really wouldn't be if I knew how the mechanics of each one worked. I did check out how the puzzles functioned a little bit, but not how to complete them. And I gotta be honest, even reading on how some of them are meant to be done, I still don't understand. Let's take this one here for example. There's a little box beside each puzzle that makes bird noises. And each squawk from the bird is a different frequency, that being high, medium, and low. I honestly can't make this shit up. Those are actually the answers to the puzzles. The bird will squawk high frequency twice, and you gotta go up twice, and then low, and then medium, and then to the end. It's absolutely insane. At first, I wasn't even listening to the game. I had music on and was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? Even after I started listening to it, the last one I couldn't figure out, so I had to abandon this set of quests and go find new ones to do. Now, I did a little bit of research, and it's pretty much wildly known that these are the worst and hardest puzzles in the game by far. The Tetris puzzles. See, you got these Tetris pieces here, and you're supposed to go around them or something. I don't know. I tried for hours trying to understand how these work, and I still don't get it. I'm going to read you the actual description on how to do it, and you tell me if they make any sense to you whatsoever. Tetris block puzzles require you to draw tetromino shapes with your line, while making sure the symbol for that shape occupies a shape inside that shape you've drawn. In many puzzles, you need to combine two shapes to make it work, in which case it's important to remember that the shapes you're drawing don't necessarily need to contain their corresponding symbols. As long as both symbols are within the space of your combined shape, you can rearrange the shapes themselves in any way that fits. Now, I don't know about you, but they might as well be fucking reading astrophysics to me. I don't understand a word of it. That's right, baby. I am Captain Jack Sparrow, and now I've unlocked an easier way to get across the island so I could fail more puzzles. And yes, this is actually a pretty big island with a lot of puzzles. Now, I'm a man and I know when to admit defeat, and I gotta tell you, this game kicked the shit out of me to the point where I never want to solve another puzzle in my entire life. This game is absolutely brutally insane in difficulty, but if you are a puzzle lover, then I definitely recommend this game because your brain will be working overtime the whole time you're playing this game. Now, there is a lot more to do in this game than I showed because I couldn't get past half the puzzles, but after I called it quits, I did actually cheat and look up a guide to get the game completed and see how it ends. And the final puzzles in the game are absolutely outrageous. They're so hard I don't understand them at all, even after reading it over and over again. One of the puzzles at the end I actually completed. I don't know how I did it, I just kind of drew a line randomly playing around and it worked, so I don't even know how I really did it. There's a reason I don't do fucking puzzles, and this game has reminded me of that reason. Here's the amount of puzzles I completed before cheating the game. I completed 127 plus 2, whatever that means, and there's a total of 650 puzzles. That's how far I got before I called it quits, not even a quarter of them done. Now, one last thing before I go. I played this game for about 15 hours before I called it quits. And I wanted to see how fast the any percent speed run was, and it's under 15 minutes. You guys should go check that shit out because it's absolutely insane. Go check out how real men do puzzles.